I'll be right back, by the way.
Welcome, you two, to another cast here. We will be joined by Toikan, that will be back shortly, as you probably heard.
Yes, I will say hello now, and I will be right back now for 1 minute.
So we come late, but it is wave 3 here. It is Robie and Tyrion against Jules and Mr. Buzz. And we start the game, and what do we see? A lot of income here. And that is an egg start from Jules, going for a pilgrim positioning I never saw before, and it looks to be working pretty well here. And does do very well, and he's able to hold the egg. Um, and here Mr. Buzz going for the priestess, and now we do have 7 workers on both Tyrion and Robie because of the egg, not having that much pressure on the bounty hunter. And Mr. Buzz probably going for a lot of income here. But now Robie will be struggling on value. So wave 5 is not out of the question, but I would love to see a common wave from Jules and Mr. Buzz. Tyrion already behind in value a little bit, but we'll go for income sense to try and scale up. So 7 workers on everybody except Jules. And income sense on wave 4 yet again. So it looks like it will be an income game with an Hydra. So the Hydra player will be looking pretty strong in that game if he is receiving a lot of income. He will be behind in workers in the early game, but he has a chance to catch back up later on. So the income sense here on Ruby will be held just barely by the consort. Here we go, and the income sense from Mr. Buzz now at 9 workers with Priestess. That's a heavy push.
I'm just in time, I see. I see 9 workers on Mr. Bus. I like it.
Yeah, that's a heavy push from the priestess. He is a bit of trouble if he receives something here, because Tyrion is not low on workers either with the bounty hunter.
If Tyrion goes a brute after income here, SSP will just die.
Mr.
Or,
Buzz.
I mean, Mr. Bus will just die. Sorry. I'm still confused with the last game.
Yeah, it's all good. So the reason here, don't really like from Mr. Buzz. Yes, he is on 9 workers, but it does allow Roby to catch back in worker and value as well. He did over push on wave 4, and was susceptible to a leak on wave 5 to a full send, but he did receive a send on wave 4, putting him a bit behind. But we do have the hold from the priestess here. What does he have for wave 6 now?
Okay, the egg is full. I think Robie and Tyrion will go wave 7.
Yeah, I think it's the better choice against the Hydra, especially paired with a Pilgrim.
They should go wave 7, right? Especially with the DT receiving here.
Yeah.
You don't have really that much pressure. You receive an income and they go 7. Okay, that's the right choice.
Yeah, that is the
Priestess
right
is,
choice. Jules is also going for 7. Try and match him.
but now will Mr. Buzz go for the Orchid? Is he expecting the leak here or the sand here? I mean, or will he already build for wave 7 with
I think in that
about 30?
situation, you need to
Yeah,
build
he builds
Tempest.
for wave
Yeah.
7.
So one thing that people don't really know is that Tempests are very good on wave 6 because there's not a lot of units.
Yeah, the ground effect.
Yeah. And so oftentimes when I don't have a good answer, I just spam Tempest. I know I will probably leak, but at least I know I will clear most of the wave that I would not normally. And I'm still good on 7 and 8.
What do you think of the imp sense of Roby into the Hydra?
I don't really like it because it's the same attack typing of Jules, and if Jules has an arcane tank, then it's pretty much wasted Mythium.
Exactly.
Luckily for him, doesn't seem like Jules has a good answer for wave 7. So this means that the imps will do a decent job.
Yeah, I just don't like sending units with the same stats on a wave.
Yeah,
So like the same attack type or defense type as the wave has.
it always depends, of course. If you see all the 6 units of your opponent, you probably say, okay, yeah, he has no answer for that wave. I can send the same typing. But when you're in the early game and you don't see all the units, you're kind of looking towards, yeah, let's see something different as attack type and things like that. Okay, so what is Jules doing here?
Jules sold his. Oh, he goes for the bunk. Jules sold
Yeah,
his archer.
yeah, he needed it to get the bunk here. And I think this is pretty good for him. Not 100% sure though.
Oh, Mr. Buzz, his priestess only tanked like 1 or 2.
Oh, did
That's
he not
not.
remove the chain fist? Oh, he did not remove the
No, no,
chain
no, no,
fist.
no. That's pretty bad for him.
Yeah, and Jules is doing pretty good. That's a hold from Jules, no? Nah,
Is
okay,
it?
it's a small
No,
leak.
it's a small
But
leak.
it's a leak on
Oh
Robie and
wow.
Tyrion as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jules also sent 160, right? 2 brutes. But I think if this was full brutes, the send on Jules, three
Yeah,
brutes and a snail, it will be way bigger league.
I agree.
Uh, that's why I don't like the imps, because you expect something to cover his wave 7, and that can be an arcane defense or a fortified defense, like a bunk or something like that. You always expect that, right?
Yeah, and in the end, the king damage is pretty much equal here. So very, very good defense from Jules and Mr. Buzz. Well, Mr. Buzz could have done a bit better, I think. But
Yeah, if he removed this
yeah, I think
front
this was the
chain
problem.
fist, yep, then he would hold better. But he is ahead in power score, ahead in income.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was far ahead in workers for a long time this game. Just now falling behind a little bit because of the 100% leak. And oh, the mole on 8 after income.
genius, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it will leak the debunk here.
Did Mr. Buzz protect his priestess enough? No, right?
No, he saw
No,
the
he
chain fist.
didn't.
He saw.
He didn't.
He
Yeah,
saw...
now he sold the chain fist.
No, Mr. Buzz, no.
Jules holding, I
But
think.
Mr. Buzz is still holding. So it's is he? Wait, am I talking too fast?
Well, that's a hold, right? Only leaking 2 or 3. It's a
Yeah.
hold.
And the mole after income leaking jewels.
Yeah, I think the mole on 8 is a bit overrated. People send it way too often.
Yeah, yeah. So even when it doesn't make sense, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they once get wrecked by the mole on 8. They think, holy, I also have to send that every wave, and now people just send the moles every wave on wave 8.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, against Aqua, if you send Mole Hermit against Aqua on 8, they're screwed because they don't have single target damage against the Mole, so that makes sense.
Hmm.
If they have Tempest, that makes sense because the Tempest is attacking the Mole and not the wave. So there's a lot of stuff that makes sense. But if you send against, let's say the Lost Chieftain, let's say a Lost Chieftain, you don't want a Mole, right?
No, 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 no. Or if somebody got the arcades, then people just send moles.
Yeah, exactly.
Or versus a priestess.
We do have the big sense here on wave 9 here against Robie and Tyrion.
Let's see how they do. Didn't go.
So did
Tyrion
we
didn't
have a
go for
Harden?
his kingpin. Why?
Oof, okay, that's a bold. Oh, he did receive a 80 on 8, so I don't think he expected this send here.
But
But the
still,
Harden Munman here was pretty clutch for Robie, and so it will be a hold for him.
yeah, even with the lost chieftain buff. But why would you greet your last, let's say, 10 stacks or something on your
It's because Tyrion
bounty
wanted
on
to
top?
go for the nice leak. It was all calculated.
And now you can't really push because you need your
Yeah, exactly. Why.
KP on 10 again. So in this case, it was just better to go for the kingpin here.
And I think this
And
king damage brings them back to equal, right?
Yeah, this is pretty equal. The whole game is pretty equal if you look at the workers, the income, the values, all around the same, right?
Yeah, all around the same except Mr. Buzz.
Yeah, Mr. Boss has a lot of more income, but Robie and Tyrion also got a lot of Mithium in the bank, right?
Yeah,
So if
and
you add the Mithium to the income, then it's pretty even game.
okay, I can say to you that Tyrion did not go for the Kingpin on Wave 9 because he wanted to have at least a bit more stacks because this is only a 95 stack Kingpin.
Yeah,
So
but
pretty
he
underwhelming.
it was like a so it was like a 90 stack kingpin last wave.
Yeah, true, he got killed early, yeah.
Yeah, so he got like, let's say he gets 6 stacks extra now on his kingpin, but yeah, he lost a lot of gold for it.
That is true, that is true. But it's only King ups onto the Kingpin, and now Tyrion will be able to push quite heavily. It will be probably a embargo play from Jules and Mr. Buzz. What do you think Robie and Tyrion does?
Can you afford the embargo?
Yeah, it's a long
That's
save,
the
you're right.
question.
Might be Savior.
Yeah, I think they can't afford the embargo here. I think they need to go for the defensive spell, and I think they both go for savior.
Yeah, I think
Uh, it,
Savior is the call indeed. But
and
Robie
they
and
just
Tyrion are
go.
still saving. Is this Archaicum playing on Robie's account?
I think they played too much together the last
Uh,
couple of days.
so Jules and Mr. Buzz are income sending here to try and stay on value. Will this be a... Yeah, it has to be Savior. Yeah, Savior
Wait,
on Jules
wait,
and
wait. Mr. Boss went for the white main here.
the solo white main. Why not go for the Azuria?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Maybe expect 12, and so he wants to invest into 12, but still on
But
wave 12 Azuria makes sense, right?
yeah, the Azeria is always worth it. The priestess just doesn't do anything right now. It's way it's the game is in the later stages, so the mid game is now,
Yeah,
and yeah, the priestess is just not a good unit anymore. So you have 100 gold invested in your split, or 190 gold invested in your split, and yeah, it actually does nothing for you.
and we do have Savior as well on Ruby and Tyrion, and they are still saving,
They
and
go for
income
the
from
13
Jules.
play. Yeah, they go for the 13 play.
And
Oh, Mr. Bus expecting it. Okay.
that's because
Please
of the
place it,
bunks on
place
Jules.
it, place it next to your white main, Mr. Bus. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
He
that
thinks
that's a happy Toikan.
Well, you agree, right?
Yeah,
One.
yeah, I agree, I agree. It's just funny, like do this. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It makes your Phoenix so much better if you place it to your white main and one Leviathan buff instead of 2 Leviathan buffs.
And I do love the block building of Jules. That's his classic Jules. With the Daphne and and the Hydra.
He does it more often, but the only yeah. Well, it really doesn't matter if you don't have an aura, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
So
doesn't
if you don't
matter.
have,
At that positioning, it
does
doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't really matter.
All right, so we'll
Give
have
some
the
shout
Phoenix.
outs to the lower elo with his block building. Okay, we
So we
see
do
the
have the
Phoenix
Phoenix.
on both Tyrion and Mr. Buzz. Mr. Buzz on fire, by the way.
Oh, that's bad.
But the sands are just massive,
Yeah, massive
like really
sense.
massive.
The Kraken, very smart here. 2 4 eyes. I'm not a fan of double 4 eye, to be honest, but in that case, it does work pretty well. Just
What would you
because
send? I'm just curious. What would you send versus Jules here?
I just want to delay the Daphnes, right? So probably 1 4 eye, yes, to get the Haven down, but
And a
then
ram,
maybe a
right?
pack and frontline. That's what I would do.
I will always send the ram versus Jules.
A ram?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see it. Makes sense. Because you absorb all the range damage from the Daphnes and Polywogs. Yeah, okay, makes sense.
And the only good unit he had versus the Ram was the. Oh, Jules is going for the kind of mean build with the Polys and the Daphnes.
Yep, yep. So maybe he felt a bit safer than he was really on 13. But that's a
But
lot of king damage, if not game. Wait, that's a lot of king ups, but that is a lot of damage from the ramping 4 eyes. The 4 eyes just now dying, and this is enough damage for the wave, right?
yeah, it's done.
Yeah, it is game
Okay,
for
GG.
Tyrion and Robie with the was that 9 to 13?
I believe it was 8, right?
Let me
Or
check.
was it 9? Yeah, it was 8. They went
It
for
was
the
8.
mole after income on 8, and then from 8 to 13. And they just get him. But with the 4-eye, I must say, if you make your guy leak and you have the double
Yeah,
4-eye on the king, that's really good.
but that's the advantage, yes. But do think that only one 4 eye is necessary, and that's why I would go for the 4 eye pack. It still buffs the damage from the 4 eye fast attacking unit, uh, and also it allows you to delay the Daphnes onto the wave with some front line.
True. But in the end, they played well. They won the game. The all in worked. Well, was it an all-in?
No,
Well,
it
the
was
long
just
save.
controlled gameplay into a closure. They wanted to close the game early, and they played to it.
Yeah. And in the end, it's GG, and they played well.
Yeah, and yeah, I think the turning point here was well a lot of early income, but the turning point was just deciding to not reset on 9 and just force them to not go for an embargo play, and just they were stuck into a loop where they needed to income to keep themselves up in value, but they were able to push after that and punish them heavily on 13. So yeah, on that I'm gonna end the YouTube video, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it, and if you have any comment on the game, make sure to leave them in the comment section below.